Before we get started with the show, I'd like to thank our sponsors. Our first sponsor is Atmos Planning, financial planners turning visionaries into meaningful millionaires. Our second sponsor of the day is Planet Duct. Reach out to them for any of your air duct cleaning needs. Now, let's get on with the show. Welcome back to the COS Business Podcast, the #1 podcast in Colorado Springs. My name is Andrew Hasley, and I'm sitting here with Andrew Perkett with Inherent. Can you tell us a little bit about what your business is?
Yeah, absolutely, man. So Inherent started as a custom suit shop by one of my great friends, Taylor Draper. Perfect name to start a clothing company. So Taylor started Inherent Clothier out of the place of about 4 years ago. He struggled from some really severe depression. And he says the only thing that got him through every day was putting on a suit, was looking nice, was valuing himself enough to look nice and take care of himself.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually a scientific term for it. It's called enclothed cognition. It's a fancy way to say look good, feel good. Okay. But basically it means your clothes represent something, and when you wear them, you embody what they represent. So Taylor said, he's like, man, I want to bring this to other men. I want to address the issue of men's mental health through menswear. So he started Inherent Clothier about a little over a year ago. We opened our first brick and mortar about 4 months ago, so super exciting. But everyone liked the message so much that we were getting out there that he actually came to me at the time, and he was like, man, I want to start a nonprofit. Can we start a nonprofit? Can you come up with an idea? I was like, yeah, sure, man. And so came up with this idea that is now the Inherent Foundation, and pitched it to him, and he goes, cool, I love it. Will you run it?
Okay.
I was like, sure, middle of 2020, who doesn't want to shift careers right now, right? So I switched over, started Inherent Foundation, and so overarching, man, Inherent is just a purpose-driven organization where we're getting guys in suits, we're getting guys looking good, using that to really address men's mental health, but practically doing things through our foundation. So my role is I am the president of the foundation. I'm figuring out how are we doing things both through our suits and through our mission, our active boots on the ground mission with our foundation to help guys in their journey for mental wellness.
That's awesome, man. And you got it nailed. Was there a specific reason why he came to you?
We're real good friends, man. I've always been in the nonprofit space. That's been my whole career. So that was part of it, but it's pretty cool. We tell everybody, like, this is kind of Inherent is actually a reflection of our friendship, because Taylor and I became friends in that season of his life. And so he was going through a lot, and we went out and just grabbed drinks. And our first conversation one-on-one was so deep. I mean, we just skipped all the BS and just went deep. And we started really just talking about life and being open about what we were going through. And that's what Inherent has become, is really a reflection of that friendship. I mean, it's one of our big goals is to get guys just talking about their emotions, talking about their feelings, what's really going on in life. So I think that was a lot of why he kind of came to me, was we'd been through that together, our deep friendship, and just experience-wise, I've always been in nonprofit world. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of inherent in you.
Exactly. Well done.
Hell yeah. All right, so we're going to roll the intro music here real quick, and then we'll dive more into your business.
Awesome.
This is a show where we have real conversations with entrepreneurs and business owners who are mostly in Colorado Springs doing things in the community of Colorado Springs. Yeah. So that's awesome, man. That's cool that you're really you could tell that you have a passion for it, and like that's something you want to help out in the world, and I commend you on that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how's that been? How long have you guys been in business so far?
Yeah, so Inherent has been just over a year. May 15th was the 1 year anniversary for our clothier, and that's been great, been really fun. And then when I came over, we launched the nonprofit in November. And we were actually geared towards teens at first, juniors and seniors in high school. And then we looked at it, man, and we were just like, there's actually a lot of really good things happening for teens' mental health in our city already. And we were like, we don't need to reinvent the wheel right now. So where is a need that's really not being met? Well, we looked at the stats for men's mental health, and men are 4 times more likely to die by suicide than a female. And globally, on average, a man dies by suicide every minute of every day. And here in our community, in El Paso County in 2019, we had 180 deaths by suicide. 79% of those were men. And that instantly we were just like, man, there's the need. That's where we need to get into. So we kind of shut down after November, rebranded, figured our mission and what we're doing, and then we relaunched in February and have been rolling out. We do events. We're developing resources, programs. So really started launching our events. We have our third one. We do monthly events. We have our fourth one, this next Thursday. So yeah, so it's going great. I mean,
what's the event?
Yeah, so one of the events we do is called a huddle. It happens once a month at our clothier shop, just on Tejon.
It's that way.
Oh my gosh!
But the audience can't tell though.
Right? I got so mixed up, the elevator and then the hallway, and it's so dark in here. Anyway, yeah, on Tejon, somewhere on Tejon, you'll see the big sign. But we do it once a month at the clothier, and basically what it is, it's a place for men to hang out and be with other men. Now, the reason we've developed it the way we have, and I'll explain that in a second, is because of another statistic that says that of men who experience depression, only 5% seek any outpatient resources. We attribute that to two things. And now this isn't statistically, this is opinion based from us, but it's aesthetic and cost. So mental health resources are effective, but they're not always very appealing, especially for men, right? A lot of men don't want to sit in a circle and have to air their deepest, darkest, right? And then cost. I didn't go to counseling for the longest time because I didn't want to spend the money. Right now, once I did start going to counseling, I was like, this is worth every penny, but it's taking that first step. So we wanted to address those two things. And that's what the huddle does. That's the first step for us. Because a lot of people, and a lot of females that I talk to, they'll say, oh, I've been trying to get my husband to counseling forever, or my brother or my dad, or, whoever it is. But I usually tell them to us, that's not step one. For me, that wasn't step one in my journey. Step one was being around people I trusted and finally being able to be open with those people, having that support. And then once I had that support, then counseling came for me after that. So we want to be that step one, and we want to bridge the gap between these guys and the resources that they deserve. So what the huddles are is guys come once a month. They get to hang out. We have things that guys want to be a part of. We set up a poker table. We set up refreshments. It's bring your own cigar. So guys can just hang out, smoke cigars if they want to play poker. And it's just a really great vibe for guys it's a guy's night, right? For them to be there. The difference is that at the beginning of the night, I address everybody and say, when someone asks, how are you or how's it going? Good and I'm fine are not substantial answers. If you're good, share why you're good. And if you're not doing well, just be real about it. And that's the only guideline we lay out. And men have just responded remarkably to that. We've had a couple guys just say, hey, this is the first time in my life I've actually asked, how am I really doing? And one guy shared that he finally started asking, how am I really doing? Identified that he struggles with anxiety, and then a couple weeks later started counseling. Just because we were saying, hey, be real with yourself and the people around you. So that's what the huddles are. It's awesome, man. I mean, technically the time was 7 to 9. We stopped putting an end time on it because guys have been hanging out till 11 o'clock, which is awesome. Dudes hanging out on Tejon smoking cigars till 11. It's just a great vibe. But all while that's happening, dudes having real conversations and really starting to open up, some of them for the first time in their life. So yeah, that's what the huddles are.
That's sweet. Yeah. So those happen once a month?
Once a month, yeah.
Okay. At right off Tejon and kind of like between Kiowa and what's the other one? Bijou, yes.
Yep, right there. It's super easy too. It's 123 North Tejon.
Yeah. Okay, nice.
Address to remember in the world. So yeah.
So are those on? How can someone find or get a hold of you for that if they're interested?
Absolutely, they can go on our website. It's just our name with a dot in the middle. So inherent.foundation, no .com or anything. We're also on social media, so we create an event every month for all the huddles. So you can find it on Facebook. We're on Instagram as well, but we keep it on the third Thursday of the month.
Okay.
And that could be a little confusing, but it's intentional. Third Thursday of the month is when we do it.
Okay, sweet. Awesome. So what was that? You said you went to counseling and you say it's worth every penny. What gives you such strong convictions for that?
Yeah, One, because we believe in the professionals in our city who've had the opportunity to study, because I'm not a licensed counselor, right? I haven't gone through schooling. I haven't gone through all this stuff. So what we don't want to do as an organization is come in with ignorance and say, hey, this will help, or oh, this will help, and just guess and throw out things that'll actually end up being more harmful, right? We don't want to do that. And so when I went to counseling, man, there were questions that were asked from someone who is outside of my perspective. And it just helps so much when you have someone who knows how to ask the right questions and then give the right feedback, right? And that's what it's all about, is asking the right questions. Even if, and this is advice I always give to people, even if you're not a counselor and you notice that somebody is off or something is off, just ask. Don't come in and just say, hey, you need to fix this, or you need to be better. So when I went through a lot of anxiety, I started drinking more. And I had actually some friends who were like, hey, are you okay? Because this isn't normal. Like, they didn't say, hey, you need to stop doing that or give me advice. They just said, are you okay? Right. And it's the right questions that can genuinely change somebody's life. And that's what counseling is I was asked the right questions. It caused me to look inward and to think. And it was revolutionary for me, man. And so I believe in it because we believe in the professionals who are doing this, especially in our city. So yeah, that's why
So if someone wanted to find some counseling right now, do you have any good resources for that?
Totally. So if anyone does come to us, if they email us, if they connect with us, if they're at our huddles, we make sure we have resources at every single event. So if a guy does want to go to counseling, we'll just give a list of counselors that we trust, people that we know, and not that people we don't recommend aren't good. It's just people that we've had personal experience with.
For sure.
And so we know that they're great at what they do, right? And so, at our events, we are rebuilding our website right now. So we're going to have a resource page on there as well.
Nice.
And even teaching people, how do you find the right counselor? Because we want people to be able to do that as well, right? How do you do that yourself? How do you seek out counseling? How do you find the right one, et cetera?
For sure. Have you had any experience with BetterHelp or any services like that are kind of, I guess, mix tech with counseling?
A little bit. So yeah, they're are they an app?
I don't know. I think they connect you with the right counselor to you. Yeah. Kind of like, I guess, how Tinder works.
Swipe right on the right counselor.
I don't know how that works. I don't know if it does that. Yeah. I don't want to discredit them for what they do.
Totally.
But I think it does use some kind of like algorithms or some kind of things.
Right.
But
yeah, we haven't explored that yet. Just because we are so young, we're trying to really dial into just getting guys to start talking.
For sure.
First and foremost, and then we'll connect them. That's just kind of the step we're at now. Down the road, we'd love to, a dream of ours is to get an app, primarily for men's mental health, and helping pair guys with counselors. So down the road, yeah, that's something we'd love to do. But right now, we're just trying to dial in on a couple things and do them well.
For sure. And what are those couple things?
So it's the events, which is our huddles and our forums. So we're going to be launching forums that are a quarterly event, and they're more topic-based. So we are actually going to bring in a different professional for every forum, and they'll talk about anxiety, depression, eating disorders, addiction, a specific topic, but they only get 5 minutes to talk. And then the rest of it's Q&A because people, especially men, retain better when they're in a conversation like we're in, right?
Yeah.
We don't have a great attention span as men, which I think we can admit, right? So at the end of the event, we'll have resources for those. And so we're really dialing in on the huddle and the forums. And then we're working on releasing later this year. I'm going to be a little vague because I don't want to give too much away before we work on it. But it is a more intentional social club for men to be able to be more than just once a month, right? To be able to receive resources of how do you talk about your mental health? How do you, because our whole goal as Inherent is to equip, enable, and empower men in their journey for mental wellness. We don't want them ultimately to have to rely on us or on a professional. We want them to be empowered and to be advocates for other men getting help as well. We want to set men free, right? And so a lot of what they'll get in this, thing that we're building is resources on how do you talk about this? How do you address this? Regular resources updated, regularly. So those are a couple things that we're really working on. And within that falls dressing nice with our clothier, man. It's getting guys in suits. So one of the things that we're actually doing right now is if a guy comes to our huddle, we have what's called the Ingress suit, which is still a fully custom suit that a guy can only get at our huddles for $300. Typically, a fully custom suit averages at $1,500. We're doing one for $300.
Okay.
Not for us to make money, but so we can get men in suits because we believe in looking good. We believe that it actually genuinely impacts you because there's a lot of men who've said, who come to us and they're just like, I can't put on a suit or I don't have any time to wear a suit, right? And that's just something that we want to teach men. Like, you can wear a suit whenever you want. You can look good all the time, and you will feel better when you give yourself the opportunity to look better.
Yeah, and I agree with that too, because last year was the first time I bought a suit.
Awesome.
And, I kind of just liked the way it made me feel. I definitely know that vibe that you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, and it's great, man, with a custom too, because
custom. Yeah.
Well, and for me, like I'm like a short little stout guy, right? And so like when I get something off the rack, anything that like fits my torso is too long because I got these short like T-Rex arms. Okay, so like I still have to take it into tailor, get the sleeves fixed, get this fixed. When I got my first suit that was like built to fit my body, there's no other feeling like it, and it's incredible to see men when they put on it their first custom and it fits them and they're just like, the expression is always priceless. Like you just feel like $1 million. And not only that, we're actually opening up a barber shop in the back because what we want to do is when a guy gets his custom suit in, get him cleaned up, get him a haircut, put him in a custom suit. I mean, you're not going to feel better after, an experience like that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Like I can imagine like a traditional style, like barber with the thing that spins and the.
We already got the barber pole up.
Okay.
So you're thinking in the right direction. Yeah.
Nice. Actually, James Proby, he actually showed me how to fit. This isn't one. I got this before I met James Proby.
Okay.
But he showed me like how they're supposed to fit and all these little things, and it was awesome. And actually, I wanted to bring him up a little bit. Are you guys planning on working together on some things?
Planning, yeah. So that's another thing down the road. We've had a couple conversations because James is just doing remarkable things, and so
it's very similar in the same vein as you guys.
Well, and what we'd love to do is to actually have guys, if they give men who work with us, who buy our custom suits, to do some sort of recycling program that we can work along James with. So, so that's not something we talked a lot about yet, but it's something that has run across the table where we're like, we want to plug into people who are already doing things well, right? And just build those and empower those people as well. And with our powers combined, right? We will make a better world.
Well, that's the awesome part about it is like, we need more businesses like what you guys are doing. And I heard James Proby on stage talking about it last week. He was like, that's not a bad thing that there's a business that's purpose-driven. He's like, because he was talking about like people coming up to him like, hey, there's competition coming on down the street, so so he's like, that's not a bad thing is what he was getting at.
No, totally. And we our whole goal, because we are purpose driven, is that it takes all of us, right? We're trying to change a stigma here. It doesn't take one company or one guy, right? It takes all of us working together to do it, and so that's how we see it is, we love suits, we love making suits, but it's all towards helping men out, and in order to actually make impact, you have to have an army to do so. You have to have a lot of like-minded people working together in order to make that happen.
Yeah. And there's an event. You're a part of it too, I'm pretty sure, with John Adams, right?
Correct. Yeah. At 3E's.
Yeah, at 3E's. It's August 1st, actually.
Correct.
So what other types of? You said you wanted to do forums. How big are these forums? What do you mean by when you say forum?
Yeah, so forums aren't huge. It's just a place for people that preferably are in our community. They don't have to be, but it's just a next step for folks, because huddles are a great opportunity. Like we want to build trust with guys. You know, you don't, in your first conversation with someone, you don't sit them down and start giving them advice, right? You got to build trust. You have to curate the relationship. And that's what huddles are. We're building trust, but then we want to take it a step further, and that's what forums are. It's a chance to dial in on a specific topic and practically offer real actual ways that guys can do something, right? So if they are struggling with eating disorders, which a lot of guys do, but we don't talk about it because you got to be a man, right?
Interesting.
But
I didn't even think about that.
I had a conversation with a guy who I was the first one that he told that he had struggled with that, right?
Okay.
But he didn't know that he could tell anybody, right? Because that's not something that
It's those stigmas.
It's a stigma, exactly. So we just want these to be able to dial in on specific things that men would need help with, but then giving them resources and places for them to go in order to actually address it and to get help and to get just to get hope from that as well. So, I mean, there really is no specific size. We're working with a kinship landing. Nice.
And it's that way. No,
oh my God. Is it though?
Yeah, it is.
Man, I am so bad.
Yeah, I know. I noticed it. I'm just messing with you.
I know. It's driving me crazy though. Yeah. So it's like, oh. Anyway, we are in Colorado Springs still, right? Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Cool.
We are. We haven't taken off yet.
All right, sweet. So yeah, we're working with them, and so really, it all depends on who we're working with, what the venue capacity is. You know, there really is no, we're not trying to limit it to 25, 30 guys, right? So there is no specific goal on how many we have or don't have at that.
Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Yeah. We need to get Bobby on the show. He was supposed to come on a couple of months ago, but we had like a misconnection. So
gotcha.
we gotta reconnect on that, because
Cool.
I've heard some good things about him.
Yeah, dude, and they're awesome, and that's another. They're just another place that is people we want to work with who have the same mindset, who have the same goals as we do. You know, and it's just pairing ourselves and partnering with people who just want to make our city a better place, which it is. It's becoming, our city's blowing up, which is why this podcast exists, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's so awesome to see, man. And so we just want to partner with people who ultimately want to help people and see people in our city helped.
Yeah, I think you guys could be a good partnership with Mattersville. What do you think? What do you think, Marcus? Yeah, you got to talk about that afterwards. Perfect. I still haven't got you a third mic over there yet. We got to connect that. I mean, I got it. I just got to connect it. It's in my truck in my car. It's we're adding that as a new part of the process. Like every week there's always something new, whether it's small, like this isn't even part of the show, but it's new.
Yeah. I was looking at it. It looks great,
man. Thank you. I just got it. I seen it in someone's YouTube video. And I was like, I've always wanted one of those. I mean, I've produced videos. It makes sense for me to have that just for fun. Like, I don't need it, but
it's fun. Yeah, it is fun though. It adds a little extra to it.
Now, if I do want to produce like a movie or a short film, I have it.
Right, exactly. Just in case.
Yeah. Hold on. Let me make it part of the show since I brought it up. Yeah. And cut. All right.
No, I love
Where's
it.
that action? I don't know.
Carry on.
Yes.
Whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's cool, man. So, has there been any challenges you've had with growing this, creating this so far? And if so, what are they, and what have you learned from them?
Totally, and I think I hear this a lot, but it's so tempting to want to do everything at once, right? We have goals and we have visions and we have places that we want to be down the road, and it's so easy to sit in meetings and talk about adding things, right?
Yeah.
And there's things that we've been asking the question a lot of like, okay, what do we have now, and how can we use that, right? How can we use what we already have to better men's lives around us, rather than having to go in and create something completely new and then leave these things half baked, right? Because we are so young, like we are wanting to grow, and actually we are growing really quick, which is awesome. But it's the hardest decisions that we have to make is to intentionally slow down so that we can really make sure that what we're doing it well. And for me, I'm very much a dreamer. I'm very much, I'll look down the road and say, I want to get there, right? And I can have big ideas. But the area that I have to have the most discipline in is to say, just not yet, right? I'll write it down, I'll put it somewhere, and then I'm going to dial in and focus on these things that we're doing right now and do them well. And sometimes say no to things because we just aren't there yet. We don't want to, you don't want to get too big too quick, right? And not have, whether it's funding or whether it's other resources, right? You don't want to get in that situation. So it's intentionally placing the brakes on and slowing down on something you're really passionate about.
And I think there's a balance to that too, because you do want to push yourself a little bit farther,
right,
but it's about finding that balance between of how big are you trying to go, and the pacing it, like you said, hitting the brakes a little bit and examining to make sure that you're maintaining that quality. My headphones cut out. I really got to get this thing. It's messed up. I got to tape it down.
But yeah, pacing's huge, man. That's the term we use all the time because it isn't about completely stopping, but you got to carry a pace that's going to keep moving you forward, but get you as far as you can go, right? That's not even so. Like, I hate running like more than anything in the world. Okay. Like, I don't mind sprinting. I'll do the quick sprint, but I can't run because every sport I played football, I played basketball, and then I ran track, but I did sprints. Okay. So everything is like bursts, everything I've ever done, even in sports. Right. So when I was out of sports and I tried to start running to be healthy, I would book it, man. Like my first half mile, I'm like hauling, and then I'm so tired I can't even get to a mile because I'm just so bad at pacing myself.
Dude, try have you heard of HIIT, the high intensity interval
that's what
training?
I do.
Okay.
That's what I do.
That'd be perfect for you, I think,
That's what I do, yeah.
Yeah.
But I've had to reflect that into my professional world as well because
that's
do
the balance.
same thing. It is. I'm tempted to just sprint and do things quick and do them hard and do them where it's like, okay, we got to find the pace. We got to find the rhythm here to make sure that what we're doing is well and it's going to last, right? We want it to last because ultimately we want to help as many men as possible.
Yeah, for sure. Well, is there anything you'd like to promote today before we start wrapping this up?
Man, just the huddles. We it's an open invite. We just want guys to show up at 7:00, third Thursday of the month. At 123 North Tejon.
Yeah,
that way.
Nice.
Right?
Yes, that way. You got it.
I'm getting there, man. But at 123 North Tejon. Would love for guys to just show up, be a part of it, check out what we're doing, and then just keep in the loop because we do have some exciting things that we're working on this year that we're gonna be rolling out. Again, I don't want to get too deep into it before we get it right.
For sure.
I'm pacing myself right now.
Yes,
right?
exactly. Yeah,
that's what I'm doing. So, but yeah, we'd love for guys to check out the huddles. Would love for guys. We do free fittings. To get measured, check out fabrics, just check out the process. Right. Come see what we're all about. Have a conversation with us. We set up our shop intentionally with couches and places for guys to just sit and hang out. It doesn't have to be a huddle. They can just come by and hang out. And so come by, check us out, free fittings, come to a huddle, follow us on social so that you can be updated when events are happening.
Okay. And how do they follow you on social? Where do they find you?
Yeah, on Facebook, it's just Inherent Foundation. We have Inherent Foundation and Inherent Clothier. Go follow both of them because cool things are happening in both. We're actually in the IndyCar world now. So Connor Daly he's a professional IndyCar driver. He's our brand ambassador now. So we're doing a lot of cool stuff with him. That's really exciting. So follow that on our Clothier, Inherent Clothier, and Inherent Foundation. Go give both a follow. And then on Instagram, it's Inherent Clothier and Inherent.foundation.
Okay.
So, yeah. Nice.
Well, sweet. Well, it's great having you on the show and getting to know you a little bit better, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was a great time. It was good hanging out with the dog, too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, yeah, we got a dog here this time. Zero, right? Yeah.
It was a great surprise coming in. Who doesn't like to see a dog right when they walk in the door?
No, for sure. We're testing live audiences right now. So we got a dog and a human, you got an animal test,
Yeah. Understood science.
Yeah, science. Yeah. Well, sweet, man. We'll start wrapping this up and all right, bye-bye.